hope all is well wherever you are. All is well over here. I am talking about some of my favorite herbs today, some of my favorite tea herbs. And I have been wanting to sit down to do this video, and I said, you know what, today is the day. So I have been on my herbalism journey for a few years now. And one thing I have learned that ended up like sort of being a lesson is that like when I first got into herbs, I went crazy. I bought every herb that I was curious about and accumulated this whole closet full of herbs. Okay, and then it turns out that there are really just a good 5 to 10 staples that you need, that you can do so many things with. So this won't be my first video about herbs at all. This is just me sharing my top 5 that I have learned to really love and appreciate, and that are involved in my everyday teas and other wellness practices as well. And then I also have an honorable mention as well. So let's get started. Number 1, yeah, I'm gonna rank these. Number 1 is Miss Raspberry Leaf. She truly changed the game for my menstrual cycle, truly. And I've never had like horrific periods. I've never had that. Just, I would say mild to moderate. Okay. But it's still uncomfortable. It's still considered discomfort for me. When I introduced raspberry leaf into my life via tea, drinking tea, over time, things have completely changed. So, you know, beforehand, excuse me, I gotta get comfortable. Beforehand, you would typically have like symptoms when you could tell your period is coming, and then like day 2 seems to be a normal thing for most of us, where day 2 is like it's just a hectic day. It's just crazy. But I say that to say these days, like over the last year and a half, maybe even 2, if I wasn't tracking my menstrual cycle the entire 28 days in my planner, like I literally wouldn't know when she is showing up, because I don't have any symptoms anymore. I don't deal with any cramping, and if you ask me, my period has actually, like active bleeding is shortened to like 3.5 into 4 days. And the last several cycles have been a breeze. And that's just my experience. That girl, for real. Now, in connection with raspberry leaf, that also goes into, and I also only add this to my tea during my luteal and my actual period days. Other than that, I leave it alone. So just during those phases of the menstrual cycle that I do add raspberry leaf to my tea. Dandelion root powder. This goes in my tea every single morning without fail. Every single morning this goes in my tea. I have a morning tea blend that I drink every day. This is one of the herbs in it. It's like a detox type thing, mild. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's one of my favorite herbs. That's number 2. Number 3 is elderberry. She's that girl for immunity health. And with her, I do not just dump into a cup of tea and let it seep with the top on like I do most of my herbs. I actually use a double boiler for elderberry, and some of my other root herbs, I use a double boiler for them to seep longer and actually simmer to get all of the benefits out of the roots or the seeds. And then once that cools off, I turn them into ice cubes. And then I just drop an ice cube into my cup of tea and drink it that way. So I do that with root herbs and elderberry. And I think a couple of other herbs, but I can't think of them right now. But number 3 is definitely elderberries. She's that girl, for real. Hibiscus. My girl. Hibiscus is so sweet. Sweet, tangy, good for your heart, good for blood pressure. And she's another one that I do steep a little longer than most of my herbs. I have used her in a tea blend, but lately I have been making hibiscus tea and I've been doing juice blends with her. So my most recent juice hibiscus blend has been hibiscus, watermelon, pineapple juice, and a dash of lime. That juice is so good. That juice is so good. Oh my goodness. And then I also tried hibiscus, tangerine juice, pineapple juice, and coconut water. That's also a very, very good blend. So I love hibiscus. She's definitely that girl. And that's number 4. Number 5, chamomile. She is so sweet to me, okay? Chamomile. And you know what I love about this? I am not a big honey person. But, oh my God, this smells so sweet and so just, I don't know. I love it. So I use this in the, my morning blend, my afternoon blend, or my bedtime blend. It can go in all 3 just for the calmingness and like a very chill vibe. Yeah, chamomile is that girl. So these are my top 5. My top 5 favorite herbs. These herbs get used every day. And that's chamomile, hibiscus, elderberry, dandelion root powder, and raspberry leaf, the bestie. And then my honorable mention is activated charcoal. I love this stuff. Like, I use it mostly for a sour stomach. Like if I ate something that didn't quite agree with me. Okay, this right here. It absorbs toxins inside the body. So this is a staple. And I don't use this a whole lot. Like this is really treated like medicine as needed, but it really does help with an upset stomach. Again, it's not medical advice. It's just I'm just saying this is my experience. So those are my top 5 favorite teas, and I am going to get ready to make my bedtime tea because we are running low. I was going to replenish both of them, but my bedtime tea is running ridiculously low. And I still got a little time for my wake up tea, wake up liver, gentle liver tea. I drink this every morning, and I drink this every night. Yeah. So I think with my bedtime tea, we're going to take what's left over, pour it into the top, and then go ahead and prepare. And I just do one big, huge blend. Hold on. I forgot my thing. Okay. Lavender. I love lavender. I'm not too fond of the smell though. You know how people like love to use this in the form of like sprays and have it all around their bed and candles and all that stuff. The smell of this is a bit much for me. But she does help with relaxation. The next herb is chamomile, and I just add 1/4 cup to my jar, and then blend it all. Usually I use a chopstick, but I don't have one right by me at this minute. The next herb for my bedtime blend is passion flowers. And this tea really works for me. So serious. Like if I drink this tea around 8:30, I say about an hour, I can feel it. And I also take magnesium glycinate too. The next herb is lemon balm. But about an hour later, I can feel it. But I just have to be mindful of, you know, once I go by the first yawn. So that first yawn is usually an indication of the tea kicking in. And I try to tell myself most nights to go ahead and shut everything down. And let's get ready for bed. Rose petals. Shut everything down. Let's get ready to bed. Because sometimes, like I'm in the middle of doing something, especially if I'm on the computer, and I just don't want to, you know, turn whatever I'm doing off and get into bed, and then I find myself fighting the effects. Then it takes me a little while longer to go to sleep. But typically, for the most part though, if I get in there, I go right to sleep. I don't have my chopsticks, so we're just gonna shake, shake, shake. Now, typically, this jar can hold double, you know, the bedtime herb ingredient list. But I'll leave it, you know, it's fine. And that's it. That's my bedtime tea. And I also do add marshmallow root. That's my other root herb that has to simmer longer. And I turn it into an ice cube. I do drop an ice cube into my bedtime tea. Used to. So my morning tea though, I add two cubes to my morning tea. I add a marshmallow root cube, and I add a aloe vera juice cube to my morning tea. So that was a change. I went from adding marshmallow root to the nighttime tea to adding it to the early morning tea. If you picked up what I'm putting down. I gotta refill this. So yeah, that's my video today. And I will see y'all around.